Welcome to Fear and Greed Business Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. Scentre Group this week outlined a strong result across its 42 Westfield malls, more than doubling first half net profit. Customer visits are up significantly too, and the group is now striking leasing deals with retailers at levels above their previous rents. This earnings season, we're working with the team at AusBiz to bring you interviews with the leaders of some of Australia's biggest companies. AusBiz is Australia's leading provider of live and on-demand video of the latest news in Australian business, markets, economy and startups. Sign up at ausbiz.com.au. It's free. Juliet Sarli spoke with Scentre Group CEO Elliot Rosenau this week about the results, about repurposing mall space previously used by David Jones, and the lasting impacts of the Westfield Bondi stabbing attacks.
Just to ask you, I guess, in terms of your profit of $404 million, so what was that unrealised property valuation, and I guess what are the highlights for the first half?
Yeah, so our statutory profit does include the unrealised property revaluations as part of the accounting rules, but the focus for our profit is really what we call funds from operations, which was $568 million for the first half, which was up 2%, and we're guiding for full year growth for funds from operations of between 3 to 5.4% for the full year to December of 2024.
So what are you expecting in terms of what will help drive some of that growth for the remainder of the year?
Yeah, so our focus is on providing people a reason to come and spend their time at our destinations. And we've seen the benefit of that play out in the first half of this year, where we've welcomed so far this year until last Sunday, 320 million customer visits. That's an increase of 6 million or 1.9% more than the corresponding period last year. And that's led to $28.6 billion of sales that are being generated by our business partners to 30 June for that 12-month period to 30 June of 2024. And that level of productivity is driving increasing demand for space, with our occupancy increasing now to 99.3%, leading to higher rents. It's leading to growth in our net operating income of 3.5% for that 6-month period. And that's leading to growth in earnings, in both earnings and distributions for our security holders.
So with occupancy near capacity, what's in the pipeline for further, I guess, growth here?
I think that the opportunity for us is to further increase that occupancy. We can run at higher occupancy than what we run at today, as well as push the costs of that occupancy. So this time last year, our occupancy cost, so this is the ratio of rent to sales that our business partners pay us, was 16.3%. We've been able to increase that to 16.9% at this period, and we see a great opportunity to further increase that. The peak of rent to sales of the occupancy cost actually was 19%. And at that time, we're talking about 10 years ago, the productivity that was being achieved by our specialty retailers was $10,000 a square metre, and they're now generating $12,500 a square metre. And that higher level of productivity is being done at a higher margin for our business partners, which means that they have a propensity to pay a higher level of those sales in rent to us. And they're really two factors that will drive earnings growth for us, as well as us focusing on driving more and more customer visitations and time dwelt at our destinations.
Do you expect rents to continue to grow at the level that you saw over last year, particularly given that we could be seeing high interest rates for longer?
Yeah, we do. And the reason for that is because of our strategy of driving customer visitations. We're driving customer visitations. It's leading to record amounts of productivity that's being generated by our business partners. There's less amount of space that's available to business partners to connect with that customer. And that dynamic of supply and demand, or lack of supply increasing demand, is leading to the ability to grow our revenue through increasing rents.
Now, I did ask about your pipeline. You've got $4 billion, I believe, in future retail development opportunities. Just tell us about some of these.
So our focus is on repurposing existing space from what might be there now to something that is more wanted by our customers. An example of that is what we're doing at Bondi, Burwood, Southland, similar to what we've done at Mount Gravatt, where we've downsized or seen the exiting of David Jones at Mount Gravatt, but downsizing in the others that I named, and reusing that downsized space for space that is more aligned to where people are spending their time and spending their money on. In the case of Bondi, the ground level of the David Jones store is actually being repurposed into a new fully interactive new line Rebel sports store and a first-to-market premium Virgin Gym operation. At the same time, David Jones is actually refurbishing and upgrading their existing smaller space at Bondi. So that's just one example which we're seeing repeated across a number of our centres, and we'll continue, we believe, to see that repurposing of existing space into a different style of what goes on in that space as we move forward into the future years.
Now, you've also mentioned that you expect distributions to grow for the full year. What sort of payment levels can shareholders expect?
Yeah, so we've guided to distributions for the full year of being at least 17.2 cents per security. And we see that as earnings continue to grow, that distribution will also continue to grow. And so we're very focused on growing in absolute terms without rebasing and without resetting earnings, both our earnings and our distributions this year and in the future years to come, and over the long term, because we are a high cash flow generating business. And so we see the opportunity of further increasing our distributions into the future years.
Now, Elliot, you mentioned before Westfield Bondi, which of course was the scene of a devastating attack back in April. Our thoughts with your staff member who did lose his life. What is the security like now in terms of all your operations and all your centres? Yeah,
the April the 13th saw a very devastating event occur where six innocent people lost their lives and many people were injured. One of those, as you pointed out, was a member of our team for us, and our deepest condolences remain with the families of the victims of those who lost their lives on that day. We have been running higher security settings for quite a long period of time. Actually, we were running higher security settings with more guards and very close collaboration with local and national police and agencies, particularly in the wake of October last year and the conflict in the Middle East. And we continue to run with those higher security settings. There's more visibility of security presence at our destinations, but more importantly, it's that collaboration with the police. And I'd like to take this opportunity of thanking the police, the emergency first responders and our Bondi team for how they reacted to that terrible events on April the 13th and how we continue to act with the victims and the families of the victims. But we are very focused on providing a safe environment because it's core to our strategy of having people spend more time with us at our destinations.
That was Scentre Group CEO Elliot Rosenauer speaking to Juliet Sarli from Ausbiz. Sign up at ausbiz.com.au. It's free. This is the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, daily business news for people who make their own decisions. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.